Hello and welcome to a Week 6 recap of the legislative updates from the Florida Retail Federation. My name is James Miller, Communications Director for FRF, and joining me this week is Melissa Joyner-Ramber, our Director of Legislative Affairs. Well, Melissa, let's talk about Week 6. Some interesting topics happened this week. Let's get it kicked off with vaccines. Where do we stand with those?
Vaccines is in a great position. The House bill passed off the House floor on Friday. 112 to 2, I believe, and is headed to the Senate. The Senate bill has one more stop, fiscal policy, and I project that that'll be up next week. After that, it'll head to the Senate floor. Both bills line up and they should be good to go so far, so stay tuned.
Okay, let's move on to convenience store security. That bill seems to be moving along quite well.
Yes, that bill has one more stop in the House. It's in State Affairs. I think that'll be up next week as well. And in the Senate, it's on the special order calendar for next week. So we should see those bills come to the House and the Senate floors fairly soon in the next week or so.
All right, Melissa, another issue that's come up is patent trolls. Can you talk about where we are with that?
Well, we were working on this legislation at a national level, and a bill was introduced here in Florida that would help protect our businesses from these patent trolls. It establishes a private cause of action for those who have received these types of claims. So stay tuned. This bill actually is moving fairly quickly through the process. Is headed to the floor in the House and sponsored by Representative Stone. And in the Senate, it's sponsored by Senator Brandis. It has two more stops before the floor, but they are both ready in the form they need to be in for the floor.
Another issue we're talking about is 64-ounce growlers. What's the status with those?
Well, the 64-ounce growler is not just the growler bill anymore. It also includes the malt beverage tastings for our grocery store owners who want to allow beer to be tasted in the grocery store. The Senate version is on the Senate floor and ready, and Senator Latvala is moving that along just finely. In the House, it's kind of in a standstill. It was TP'd this week in Reg Industries, but we expect it to be up next week. All along this session, the talk has been that these will be the bills that pass this session on alcohol issues. But keep in mind the other bill that's moving is the powdered alcohol, the ban on powdered alcohol. That bill has received no opposition. The only comments have been, instead of banning it, maybe want to regulate it. But that amendment failed in the House. So stay tuned on that issue. I believe they'll just go ahead with the ban and move forward with that.
And lastly, let's finish up with the tax package. The good news is it was passed out of the House last week, but bad news is potentially a special session, maybe called, maybe impacted. Can you talk a little more about that?
Maybe. I don't have my crystal ball with me. But I will say there's no real tax package in the Senate right now. The House and Senate are at a standstill over the budget, specifically on LIP funding and Medicaid expansion. Until those two items are worked out, the budget is at a standstill in the House and Senate. We have been in discussions with the House and the Senate Appropriations Chairman that when they do move forward on the budget, it is very important to get the back-to-school sales tax holidays and any sales tax holidays with timing and dates on them moving forward as soon as possible so our retailers can prepare for those. We'll keep you updated on all those issues.
We want to thank you for watching, and if you have any questions, by all means, feel free to reach out to FRF staff at any time. You can follow us on Facebook and on Twitter and at frf.org. Until next week, happy retailing.